The day is upon us. It is time for the Jacket Off podcast. And today, of all days, it's finally cooled off. And now it's time to get hot. Hot takes, hot topics, hot issues, hot pockets.
That's the bacon sizzling. Bacon works. Bacon's usually hot.
Not to turn the intro to this podcast into a weather discussion, because that's probably easily the most boring discussion anybody can have, is let's start off a podcast with, hey, did you see the weather out there? Jeez. Could it get any fucking hotter? Oh, my God.
How about that heat wave, Brent?
Oh, baby. For rolling brownouts, plaguing the city. Well, so here's the thing. I am going to do that.
Toilet.
And here's why. Since we last left the round table of thoughts and knowledge, that is the podcast, I gone through a transformation as a person. For 1 week, almost exactly 1 week, which was last week, I turned into a raging fucking rage machine. For like a whole solid week. Didn't want to talk to anybody. Didn't want to. I was a fucking wreck. So the reason why that is because of the air conditioner. You can't see it. It's off camera, but it's over here. And it's my old air conditioner. It's the one that's been in my window for at least 3 summers now. We bought for $65 from one of Becky's friends that was moving to the Netherlands. He said, hey, do you want this air conditioner? And we said yes, because it was $65. Fast forward 3 years to now. This heat wave happens. We go away for the weekend to Watertown, to my grandparents' house, have a wonderful weekend of revelry and delight on the lake. Come back. The heat wave has begun, and it is in full force at this point. It started on, I think it was last Friday, and we came home to a house that had been sitting for 2 days on the top floor with none of the curtains drawn and 95-degree weather. So when we came in,
dude, it was hotter than 95.
It was 105. I mean, I don't have a reliable temperature gauge in this house, but it had to have been 105 degrees. When we got into this house, it was so stifling that when I went to turn on the air conditioner did the equivalent of, like, in old cartoons when the jalopy breaks down, it goes like that type of idea. It literally just turned on, and you know how when you turn on an air conditioner, it has the whir, like, of the fan first, but then it goes,
yeah, it kicks on.
The condenser. Right. This is, upon further research, what I find out to be the condenser. So it moves the water through all those pipes in there, so it condenses and blows out the cold air. But the room was too hot to blow out that said cold air or even render the condenser operational. So in a blind rage, after sweating for at least half an hour to give this thing the benefit of the doubt, hoping that it would begin to cool down the room, I drive to Lowe's. Oh, excuse me. I don't drive to Lowe's. I drive to Walmart. So when I went into Walmart, I had a feeling. It was like a very Mad Max apocalyptic feeling, like they're going to be all gone. Yeah, I know what's going to happen is that when you walk around
there's like a rainstorm and everyone goes out and buys gallons of water because, it's finally going to be the end of the world.
I had a feeling when I walked into Walmart and I took that left to go past, like, near the garden section and go over near the paint section where they have, every time I've ever seen it, air conditioners on center pallets in the aisle stacked up. I walked around, nothing. Then I went over to the fans aisle, looked in the fans aisle, and it literally looked like they were having a 99% off fucking sale on all the fans. It's like, cool.
All right, sick.
So again, in my blind rage, immediately turn around. I don't even bother asking Associate if there's any in the bag, because I know that 100 other people before me have asked that question.
Smart move.
Yeah. So I walk out of there and I said, okay, Lowe's is right across the street. I am going to this is the last one, and then I am going to go home and die. So I go over to Lowe's and I walk in and I get past the greeter and then like towards the whole like the garden section again. And the woman must have detected either the sheer sweat accumulating above my brow or the look of unadulterated fucking desperation
Fury.
on my face.
Desperation and fury.
Fury and desperation. And she said, "You looking to buy an air conditioner?"
You bet your fucking ass I am.
I see a stack of them right here. Is this the air conditioners? And she said, yes, these are the only air conditioners. She said, these are designed for a small bedroom. I said, I wish I could take 10, but I'm going to get one. I said, how much are they? And she said a number that I wasn't quite, was not prepared for. She said, $200. I was like, okay.
That seems like a lot.
Okay, so it is a lot. It was a Haier 6,000 BTU air conditioner, which at the 5 to 6,000 level, that is a small bedroom. That's more than likely what your air conditioner is. And your air conditioner did not cost $200. It probably cost you like $110 or $120 if you bought it new.
I think I bought it for like $80 at Walmart.
You could have gotten it it's because air conditioners are seasonal. That like you
no,
could.
I got it in the dead of summer. I think it was just.
What brand is it?
Arctic King.
Yeah, that's probably it as well.
Yeah.
GE Haier, like all of it works. No,
I was going to say, you know what? I've had it for three summers now, or maybe even more, maybe 4, and it hasn't done me wrong then.
Don't touch the classics because this is the end of the story. I buy this air conditioner in a blind rage, right? Spend like half my money on it. Lug it home, put it in the window, get it going. It seems to be having the same problem. But then, since I can't do anything anymore, this is like 6 o'clock at night. I'm like, okay, let's just keep this thing running, sit in front of it, and fucking like lay on the goddamn floor
like a dog outside the window.
I have one of those fucking golf wet chamois towels that's like you can put around your neck. So I'm like, I'll put that shit in the freezer and we're just gonna fucking lay here with put the towel over our face and all of this. We do that for a night. Sleep on the floor. In the morning, the room is actually cold now. So I was like, okay, it is working. It's just not working that great because then what happens is you literally get past the rug, like the rug divider into the kitchen, and you hit a brick wall of hot steam. I'm like, so that's clearly what the limitation is here. It's not like the old air conditioner where it would clear, pretty much this whole area. So I said, all right, let's ride this out. So I go one more day. And then I just, for some reason, one day woke up and I was like, all right, I'm going to put the other air conditioner in now that I've cooled down this room, just to give myself the satisfaction. So I put my old air conditioner back in.
You paid $200 for it. You want to know that you needed it.
Yeah. Lo and fucking behold, now that the room is cooled off, funnily enough, an air conditioner needs a fucking cool room to make the room cool. Who would have thought? Because now the condenser comes back on when the room is within like a reasonable threshold. The room isn't 130 degrees. The room is, 75 degrees. So now the fucking condenser comes back on and this air conditioner is acting like it always has. And now it's like cooling the whole room. Now we still, because it's so bad, have to sleep on the floor in the living room for a fucking week. Yeah, either on the floor or on the daybed, and we were like swapping back and forth.
Why didn't you move the little one into your room?
Now, here's where that gets interesting. So,
I should know there was a story. I don't even know why I bothered asking.
Listen, Dylan. If I'm not known for anything, I am known for exploring all of the possible options, especially after a massive fuck up like buying a $200 air conditioner. I lug this bastard into the bedroom. Now, mind you, I must not have mounted it at the correct angle, or at least if I did, since it's a brand new air conditioner, it's going to collect a lot of water. So, in a fury, I lifted the air conditioner out of the window, proceeded to spill water everywhere from the window below where I took it out of all the way to the bedroom. When I had gotten it into the bedroom, my bed is right below the window. So I have to climb up on my bed with the air conditioner in my hand and try to fit it in the window. But here's where the problem is. The windows out in the front area, and I don't understand why, have a much taller window base. Like, these are windows where you can remove them. They're like the new construction, like slide out windows where you can unclip them and fucking pull them.
Yeah, so you could
I can
wash
pull
the
them
inside easy.
Yes, I can pull them right out. Almost every window in here, I can just clip, slide the thing, and pull the fucking whole window out. So in there, I pulled the whole window out. But what I didn't realize was that the window sections, the panes that you can pull out in that room, are shorter, even shorter than the ones that are in here. And these aren't even like regular windows. Like, if you look at the window right to the right of you right now, that's a regular window in a regular house.
Yeah.
All of my windows are like I live in a trailer. They're all stubby as shit because the ceiling is fucking 4 feet tall.
Like kitchen windows.
I pull both fucking panes out. I take the screen out. And then I put the top pane back in because you have to remove both to get the one back in. So I put the one, slid it down, and then tried to fit the air conditioner in. It was off by an inch. Let's take a beat on that so everybody can fucking absorb that nugget of information. So started sweating again because I was lifting up a fucking 40-pound air conditioner and trying to bring that shit into my bedroom and then wiggling it around, spilling water all over my pillow, and then proceeded to set it back down next to the bed, sit on the bed, and then cry into my soup. So, the next day, I vowed, you know what?
To hang myself.
I had... I'm having a mental health day. That's what I'm going to have. I'm going to create a day for myself where I accomplish the things that I need to accomplish so that I don't melt down like a nuclear reactor, because that was what was going to happen. We were only 3 days into the week, and I felt like I had lived a lifetime of anguish. So I fucking took the day off. I just enjoyed my morning.
Wouldn't you rather go into work? At least there's AC there.
That was a thought that had passed my mind, but here's what had to happen. I was like, I am not going to be able to continue the week regardless of whether I spend 8 hours at work, because I wouldn't be able to think about anything else but returning this fucking air conditioner. Since the air conditioner still has water in it, I can't put it back in the box or else it'll soak the box and that shit'll dump right on the parking lot for me to bring it back in. So I go downstairs and I grab a big ass tote that we used to put wood in, and I line the bottom of it with a fucking kitchen towel. I put the thing in there. I shove all the parts into the fucking tote, and then I put the cardboard in, like, everything. I had every component. I was like, I'm going to look like a complete fucking moron loading this into Lowe's. I put everything in the back of the car, and I drove there, and I huffed and puffed. I put the tote on a fucking cart, and I huffed and puffed my ass through the fucking door with the blue tote with the fucking air conditioner on it, the cardboard shoved into the tote and everything else. I got into the door, and I walked past the threshold, and I go up to the lady in return. She's like, "You looking to make a return?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And she's like, "All right, you have your receipt?" "Yep, it's in this plastic bag with all the instruction manuals." Put that shit back in the case. And she's like, "Okay, do you have the card that you used to buy it with?" "Yep, right here." "Fuck you." Slid that thing in there. And she's like, "All right, you're all set." I was like, "It was that easy?" She's like, "Unless you want the tote, you can lift the air conditioner out." And I'm like, I considered it for a second, just being like, "No, you can take the tote. I don't give a fuck." I'm like, "Nah, I need that to put wood in." So I fucking took the air conditioner out. I put it on the cart with all the components, took my fucking tote, and I walked out of the goddamn Lowe's. And then the rest of the day was spent just fucking trying to contemplate my life. Now,
Well, that's nice.
yeah, and this
I'm
was
surprised
all
it went that
leading.
nice.
Yeah, sometimes those experiences can go so bad that I could have been in a completely different way right now. This was all leading up to an impromptu Fourth of July celebration. Um, I don't know why I do this,
I could probably tell you.
but I don't know if it's a need uh, for approval. I don't know if it's a need for normalcy, or to be contrary to that, maybe a need for not normalcy. Maybe I secretly crave for my life to constantly go in these fucking stupid directions.
Oh, you didn't have
But
enough excitement with your air conditioner.
nope, didn't have enough, so had to go out to Aldi's and get a bunch of groceries to feed a bunch of people on the 4th of July because everybody's coming over. Everybody's coming over to Brent's house. Can barely get his air conditioner working and doesn't have any money for food, but they're all coming over, so I scrambled.
They're all coming over. They're all going to heat up your house with their body heat.
That's exactly what.
Leave the goddamn door open. So what little coolness you got goes leaking out. See you later, Brent.
I think one of the things that I hate the most is not the act of doing things like this. It's that most of the time, like, I'll tell you a little bit about leading up to it. Becky, I was the one that came. This is the worst part. I was the one that came up with this idea.
Yeah, you always are.
I was like, hey, let's do a cookout. Everybody should come over for a cookout. I had ideas of grandeur, of supreme relaxation and fucking grilling and having a grand old time, right? Well, that's not what panned out. Becky texted like every single one of her friends. Every one of them. And this is the thing that I hate that I was trying to preface this with. I hate when you are second, third, fucking fourth sloppy seconds to a million other people's parties on the day where everybody's having parties. I hate that. In my mind, I would imagine that if I told everybody that I was having a cookout, yeah, I get that it's short notice. But there's a certain grouping of friends that if I said I'm having a cookout at this time, obviously for you on a weekend, that would be when I was expected to come out. But since this is at the middle of the week or whatever, I was thinking, look, if everybody's working, whatever, it's after like 4 or 5 o'clock because we got to wait for that fucking sun to come down or else everybody's going to burst into flames. So it wasn't like we were under any sort of like, it wasn't like we were doing like a daytime fucking barbecue. It wasn't like anybody. And listen, everybody's got the fucking day off. Everybody. So she texts everybody and they're like, this is the phrase. This is the phrase that always gets me.
I'll see if I can make it.
Boy, you don't even know how shitty that phrase is to somebody that's over here trying to do something. It's over here trying to like fucking feed you some unreal food, trying to fucking booze you up and shit and have a nice time and really put the effort in, because nobody puts more effort in than I do. Nobody. Everybody else does a half-ass hamburgers, a fucking hot dog jamboree on their fucking gas grills that are flaming up because they don't clean them. That's what everybody's doing in the park, using those fucking little square bullshit rusty grate grills. If it's a good one,
even if it's not a good one, if you're in the park, that's all you got, really, though. So,
I guess I'll grill my hot dogs on this toxic waste dump.
Well, usually you put tinfoil over the grate, but
tinfoil on
it.
It's fine. You're in the park. You're in the park, baby. You're in there. You're in the park on 4th of July. What more do you want? I don't know, some shade? Maybe that would be good.
There's this fucking tree right here. Get
My
under it,
hair's
you
on
idiot.
So we get a million of those from everybody. We just get the, like, regardless of what we wanted to do. We wanted to go to the beach in the morning. We ended up going. It was just me, Becky, and Becky's dad. That's who went to the fucking beach in the morning after a fucking mass text goes out saying, hey, we're going to the beach. And then one person's like, I might show up. We leave the beach and we get texted by this person and it's like, all right, I'm on my way to the beach. And I was like, son of a bitch. So whatever. I'm just going to do everything in my life that I want to do. That was after that point. I was just like, yep, I'm going to do everything that I want to do.
Becky,
So
delete
then,
all your friends' tech numbers.
yeah, delete all of them. I'm starting new, starting fresh. It's like I'm fucking real lucky. That's what it is. I'm lucky as all hell to have like and to say it's a group is really to be liberal with the size, but that I have a group of friends that when I tell them things or when, and there's probably two reasons why this is the case, but when I tell them, hey, I'm going to be doing something, would you like to partake? They will say, yes, I would like to do that, and then they show up. There is not a consideration on that for what else do I have going on, because the answer is either I don't have anything else going on, or if I do have something else going on, this takes a back seat to that, or I schedule it in so that it's a priority. Because look, every event, everything that everybody else is doing is a thing that you can make solid. You can carve it into stone. When somebody tells me like, hey, do you want to come up this weekend? That goes on the calendar. The coming up this weekend part goes on the calendar. It doesn't turn into a maybe I'll go up, maybe I'll drive up there if nothing else better is going on.
Let me see what else is happening for. I don't want to
when somebody else calls me, exactly. When somebody else calls me and says, "Hey, do you want to hang out this weekend?" Then I get that idea in my head. I say, "Oh wait, I can't. Going up to Dylan's this weekend. Perfect." Now you have an event like it's there, and there's no consideration for other people's events because you've scheduled it. That's what I want people to do. In a world of like fucking mile a minute horse shit, I just want somebody to occasionally just be like, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, sure.
You gotta fucking worry about me, man. I'm gonna fucking be there. I'm gonna be there with bells on. And I don't know if that's just a function of like how we grew up, but that's what it always seemed like. It always seemed like it was like, sack up, you're coming out, you're doing it, we're doing it, everybody's doing it.
Want to.
Yeah. How many times did it happen to me where I was just sitting there like, and then fucking somebody would call me up and be like, hey, dick ass, we're going to fucking
Rochester.
We're going to Rochester. We're going to Rochester. We're going to Pussy Fingers, whatever. It's like, I wish that I had that power. Becky doesn't have that power over her friends. She doesn't wield this incredible, like the fucking sword of camaraderie. She isn't right. The cavalry isn't coming out.
They're not here.
The
cavalry's not here.
The cavalry didn't even leave yet, or will never leave, because the way that all of these people work is they kind of exist in a world of like whatever happens. That's not the world that I live in. Whatever happens can come after we've made the plan to make something happen. Right?
That's what's going to happen.
And we've said we're going to do this, right? Yeah. This is a time that everybody needs to be available, but after that is when you say whatever happens, because that's where the good times start to roll. That's when shit starts to get heavy. But for somebody to say like before anything happens, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. That's the equivalent of your parents saying to you, "Mom, can I get a lava lamp?" We'll see. That means no. Okay? And it's always meant no. And it doesn't just stop at your parents.
But Ma,
But Ma, like you can't.
it's a lava lamp, Ma.
Sometimes you wish you could be for that forthcoming, that frank with your friends. Like when they say something like that, when they say, "Well, we'll have to see how the day goes." You wish you could just say, you know, okay, you're gonna see how your day goes because fuck you. I'm going to do my day, and you're not included now because you decided that other shit it could be. Not even that it's in stone, that it could be better. Nothing's going to be better. Trust me. Your FOMO is fucking irrelevant. You're because there's only ever been one answer. It's to come over to my house. That's always been the answer. And for you to have the knowledge that you've been here a million times and always had a great time it's stupid for you to think you can top it. And that doesn't even come from me tooting my own horn. That just comes from just knowing how I handle shit. Like I obsess about this shit like all the fucking time. I think about it constantly. I get a little like if the party had nipples, they get a little hard. They get a little hard sometimes when I think about it. Because I just get a little bit of I don't even know how you describe it. When somebody when I come up with an idea that we want to do something, when I come up with like a thing that requires some sort of like entertainment or some sort of like, whatever. I'm like, okay, ooh, baby, I gotta go shopping. Like that's like I'm like, yeah, okay. First things first, gotta come up with a cool playlist. All right, so I come up with a cool playlist, and it's like, all right, gotta come up with some sort of menu. What am I gonna make? Is it all around a theme? It's like a luau, right? So I'm gonna do like this, and then
pineapple chicken.
Yeah, I gotta go buy like 2 pineapples. I'm gonna cube that shit up, and then I'm gonna get a bunch of chicken. I'm gonna make like jerk chicken. Yeah, jerk chicken. Then the ball starts rolling, and then I can't stop. Then I start spending more money than I need to spend, and nobody cares. Everybody would be fine with
hamburgers and dogs,
with the fucking dogs and hamburgers on the fucking park grill. They'd be perfectly content with that, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm never gonna do that. You know what we did for the 4th of July fucking cookout or whatever it was? I made flank steaks, cut them up into fajitas, and chicken and cut it up into fajitas, did a taco bar, custom cocktail. Mind you, it was a Chardonnay spritzer with fucking pineapple in it. Get over yourself. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that.
You could have gave me a little more notice. I would have drove down there.
I feel like that was a big ask, and I'll tell you why it was also not so great and why it probably wouldn't have, because again, if it were the friends and all that stuff, if it were everybody coming out a big old group, I totally would want you to come down for that. Socially, I don't think you would be able to handle. Okay, 2 things. Socially, I don't think you'd be able to handle what transpired that day. And secondly, the heat was so bad that it felt like K-Rockathon. Like
Ooh.
It was excruciating.
K-Rockathon.
Oh my god.
That's some good heat.
I'll shift gears. That was my opening rant. I felt as I've been sitting on that egg for a long time, and it was really about to hatch.
It's gotta hatch.
K-Rockathon. We said K-Rockathon. Now, as we know, K-Rockathon is now being held at the Syracuse Amphitheater. My dad got roped in by Abby to go to K-Rockathon. They're gonna go the night that Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie are there. My dad calling me about it was the funniest shit ever. Because he was like, God damn it. Your stepmother fucking said I got to take her to K Rockathon. And I said yes. And now I got to deal with a bunch of fucking. I got to deal with a bunch of fucking big old black baggy pant wearing, fucking wallet chain having, fucking eyeliner looking motherfuckers. And I'm like, he's like, all that bullshit that your stepmother deals with at the high school, all those fucking goths out there. Like, man, you ready to see Marilyn Manson, dude? Yeah, dude. My soul is so dark and black. And it's like, you're in the wrong time period. That was 15 years ago.
I don't think those are the people going to see Marilyn Manson anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they are
I
either.
think it's all the people that grew out of that phase. Yeah, it really is.
If anything, like, it's probably a range from like our age, like 27, 28, up to like in the 40s and 50s. That's like the range that's going there. Because there's like the first wave of Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie, which was like the early 90s. And then there's the second wave, which is like the mid 2000s, like, you know, the mob scene era, like the industrial techno metal type shit.
Hey, but even that wasn't wave.
Well, I feel like they had like two sections of their career, kind of.
Yeah.
Like Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson, they kind of had like the first thing and then like the second one.
Rob Zombie was more White Zombie than Rob Zombie.
Right, White Zombie in the beginning, and then when he did his solo, and like Marilyn Manson had like the spooky kids, and then like those next like few, and then he did like
Antichrist
then it was like
Superstar.
Mechanical Animals.
Yeah, I guess that would.
There was a break. There was like a little bit of like a lull.
I think it was
somewhere
between Antichrist Superstar and Mob. What was Mob Scene off of? Because that wasn't the album name. I don't think.
No. Oh my God. Antichrist Superstar. Was it Mechanical Animals after that?
That was the one with the dope show on it, I think.
Yep. And then there was oh my God. Smells Like Children was the second one.
That was
first one was like
first album.
Well, Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids was the first record. That doesn't even really count. That was like the fucking one where it was almost like a weird like rap album kind of thing. But yeah, Smells Like Children was the first one. And then yeah, that's weird that I can't remember that one after Mechanical Animals. Was it that one where it was almost like Nazi imagery? Was that because that was where he did like
that was like Antichrist Superstar.
Was it?
With the lightning bolt on the disc?
Yeah. And then I can't. Wow, that's weird that I can't get to the next one.
The Golden Age of Grotesque.
That's it.
Or I guess Hollywood. Yep.
Oh wait, was the Golden Age of Grotesque a greatest hits record? Or no?
No, that's the.
Lest
We Forget is the greatest hits record.
Yeah.
With him, with the painting of him on the front. It looks like the bottle of Manson.
Yep. Manson. Anyway, I guess.
Okay, so Hollywood had at least Disposable Teens on it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But anyway, they're going. They're going to have a great time.
Portrait of an American Family was the first one. That's the one with the kids on the front.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great book, by the way. Highly recommend everybody pick that up. Long Hard Road Out of Hell by Marilyn Manson. The story is
Email me your address and I'll send you my copy. You can take it out like a library book. I'll stamp the date in the back. We got 2 copies.
The Jack It Off Book Club.
Yeah.
We got a pretty good library between the two of us. Mostly my shit is like fucking cookbooks and rock docs. That's pretty much what my shit is.
I got rock docs. I got
graphic novels.
The classic. I got the graphic novels.
Yeah,
I got some newer stuff. A little bit of everything.
So, man, what a week. I've been getting no fucking sleep. I've just been like rotating between last night was the first night I got to sleep in my own bed.
Nice.
which was just exquisite. We went to Druthers last night.
Bar?
Yeah, but restaurant, bar and restaurant. They make their own beer there. It's all their own beers. Holy fuck, that place is a treasure, man. I
don't think I've been there. I think I was at another place that had Druthers bar, maybe.
Yeah, yep.
Beer.
Spinach and artichoke mac and cheese, dude. It's like spinach and artichoke dip with fucking macaroni in it.
Okay.
Oh my god. I just had it for the rest of it for lunch today. They bring it out in a giant fucking cast iron pan. Oh my god. It's the greatest macaroni and cheese.
I used to have Kraft macaroni and cheese with a can of Popeye spinach in it, so I feel like that would taste pretty good too. It's basically the same thing.
Becky had a peanut butter burger, which was crazy good. They make their own peanut butter. They grind out peanuts, and so that it's like a paste. Then they put it on a brioche bun with like a red pepper jelly type of thing over the top of it, and then bacon. And it's not fully dressed. It's just like more like a cheeseburger with like a bunch of sauces on it. It's like super like saucy and messy and shit. Oh my god. They make some great shit there. And they make great beer. Well, and then so I was able to enhance the beer drinking experience because I've been having a toothache and I'm pretty sure I got to go get a crown on one of my molars because I got a filling last year in it. And it is fucking destroyed. It feels like I have like nerve damage because it is hurting like a motherfucker. So last night it was hurting particularly. It smarted a lot last night.
Did not feel good.
So I decided I got one beer in and I was like, Becky, do you have an ibuprofen? I'm going to roll with a 500 milligram ibuprofen. So I popped the ibuprofen and then I decided, you know what? Let's have one more beer. So I have another beer. I'm pretty sure I had 3 beers in one 500 milligram ibuprofen. Let's say when I got up to go to the bathroom, it's like that line in Champagne Supernova, slowly walking down the hall faster than a cannonball. That's kind of what it felt like. I had a major disassociative effect where I was just like, woo, all right. Now that's what happens when you take an ibuprofen with a couple fucking beers.
That's it destroys your liver, so
yeah, it's cool, man.
Thumbs up.
That's like that's like the ultimate white person version of getting drunk. Like it's like, dude, went to fucking Tommy's house last night, dude. Fucking, I decided I was gonna fucking have a couple beers, bud, but I was gonna have like ultra high alcohol content beers. So I took a couple fucking ibuprofens, bud.
Ate some mac and cheese.
Fucking wavy, dude. Had some fucking spinach and artichoke mac and cheese. Fucking craft beer, bod. Sat out in the open courtyard, dude. Fucking wore my reef sandals and my fucking J. Crew fucking button-up t-shirt. That's what I did.
Did you?
That's a true story about me. That wasn't me being facetious. I could just tell that to you in a regular voice.
Yeah.
I went out to an open air courtyard, sat down, ate.
They had the hanging lights,
mac and cheese, drank 3 craft beers, took a 500 milligram ibuprofen, and then walked around downtown for a little while. And wore my reef sandals, pair of fucking like flat
chinos.
Pair of flat front fucking Dockers khaki shorts and a navy blue J. Crew button up short sleeve shirt with little hula girls and acoustic guitars on it. I've reached the pinnacle of sophisticated living. Sure have.
You made it.
I've made it. We've come here. Well, speaking of clothing, I don't know if I even wrapped up the saga that was the acquisition of my Adidas on sale clothing.
I don't think you even said anything about it.
No, I don't believe I did. So This was well before the heat wave, but or else if it was before the heat wave, I would have said goodbye to those clothes because I wouldn't have been able to handle the anguish that was bestowed upon me just trying to get this fucking box.
You probably wouldn't have ordered a jacket either.
Well, I ordered a jacket because it was so cheap that I was like, this is a next season buy. This is going to sit in the closet.
Yeah, but if it was that hot out.
Well, right. If I just,
even thinking like
I
that, I
wouldn't even be able to bear the thought of buying a fucking track jacket. But I went onto I saw like a coupon on Slick Deals. It's like 20% off coupon. Applies to all sale items on Adidas.com. I went there. I was like, damn, they got a ton of shit on sale. So I was like, I'm gonna treat myself to the first pair of Adidas track pants I've ever owned. Legit black Adidas track pants with the stripe down the side, just the regular old Joe ones. I was like, so along with that, I'm like, you know what else? I'm gonna get myself a pair of fucking Adidas shoes too. Weird ones. Just because I want to. Just because I don't even care. Because they were cheap. They ended up being like fucking $42 or some shit for the pair of shoes. It was like a $120 pair of shoes. And then I got myself what I really wanted, which was just that Pharrell track jacket. It was just the Pharrell Holy series. So I was like, okay. So happy, ordered it all, got it for a fucking song, whatever. Shit gets sent, and then it doesn't show up in my house. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm wondering what to do. I checked the tracking. It says it was delivered, and it says delivered by the front door. I'm like, well, there ain't no fucking that didn't happen. So I don't know as if I called FedEx. I'm pretty sure that was the first thing that I did. I called FedEx customer service, and that's what I did. Yeah, I called FedEx customer service. They put in a support ticket for me, and then the dude who actually delivers down this street called me on his personal cell phone. And he was like, hey, this is Dave. I'm the FedEx guy for your street. I just wanted to sort out what happened with your package. And I was like, well, I got home this day. It wasn't here, and that's really all I know. And he's like, well, I dropped it off at the first door. Like, it was the one that, like, I did like the loop in the driveway. I was like, all right, I'm going to stop you right there. That's how I know you delivered it to the wrong house. So first of all, I don't have a loop on my driveway, and I only got one door to get into the building. And he's like, are you sure? Because that was the address. I said, no. I don't know where that went that has like a loop driveway like that. I wasn't really thinking about it at the time. I was like, I don't really know where you went where it had like a loop driveway, but the building that I live in only has 2 mailboxes, and the doors are on the inside of the building. It's a duplex. And he's like, oh, okay, let me see what I can do. And so he calls me back about 45 minutes later. He's like, I figured it out. I stopped at the house like 2 houses before yours. It was 278, not 287. I was like, okay, not a big deal. I said, what house is it? It's like, it's that big white one with a bunch of apartments in it. I was like, oh, that loop driveway. So I understood what house it was in. So that day I drive down there. He said, what I did was I left a note on the door for them, like one of those door tags. Sorry, we missed you. It's like, I wrote a note on it that said, hey, I left a package here. I just want to know if you still have it. He's like, as far as I know, the package isn't on the porch anymore. And I was like, fuck, somebody had to have stolen it. So I go down there. I actually just walk down there. It's short enough for me to just walk down the road, and it's there. So I walk up there. I see the note on the door. There's no package. 2 cars in the driveway. I knock on the door like fucking 4 million times. Nobody answers. I was like, oh, these fucking sons of bitches. I go look around the premises. I probably look creepy as fuck. I like poked in the front door just to see if maybe they left it on like the landing or something. Mm-hmm. It's nowhere to be found. So I wait a couple more days. Open the door to
the house?
No, well, it's like my building. You can open up that bottom.
Okay.
No, I didn't open up the fucking door to the house. So I give up for a couple of days. I'm like, let me just see how this fucking pans out. See if they see that note. Maybe they'll put it out or whatever. Meanwhile, I get to doing some researching. So here's what I figured out. Based on what Dave told me, he said the girl that lives in that building. So I said, oh, first, it's a girl. So that's what I know. And then he said, I left it at 278. All right, now I know the address. So I had 278 Locust Grove Road. I did a reverse search on White Pages, and I found the girl that lives in the building. And the only other people that live in the building were like, I think it was like a dude and somebody else. So I was like, that's the girl right there, 278. I got a number, and then I got the name. So when I took the name and I put it in Facebook, and I found the person. So then I send her an unsolicited message that says, hey, this is just a shot in the dark. I was just wondering if this is the same person that lives on Locust Grove. I live about 2 houses down from you. Somebody left a package on the porch a couple days ago. I just want to know if you picked it up or if something, if you know anything about it. I don't get a message back. I'm working with Dave. Dave, I'm calling back. We're on a first name basis now, me and Dave. We're having a grand old time trying to figure out where the fuck this package is, and he's just as confounded as I am. So I get a message back 2 or 3 days later from what's her name. I couldn't even believe it. I took a fucking shot in the dark. She was like, hi, yeah, I did see that package. I ended up putting it on the front porch. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You didn't see that my name was on it and that the address was on it? It was clearly labeled. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. If your package lands on my fucking porch the next time, that shit ain't coming down to you.
In the river.
I'm fucking throwing it in the back lawn for the fucking deer to eat it. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm like, well, you know what? It's not even it's fucking wasting my time to try to figure out what the fuck she did with it. I went back down that day, looked around, did the same thing. It's fucking nowhere again. So then Dave calls me back. I tell him everything that I found out. And he was like, all right, here's what's going to happen. I'm off my vacation tomorrow. I'm going to go there and I'm going to knock on every door, see what I can find out for you. I said, okay, that's awesome. So he calls me the next day. He's like, nobody answered. I don't know what the hell is going on. Next day, he said, all right, here we go. Brent, somebody called me and said that they found this package and that they are going to leave it on that front door, like the stairwell inside the porch. I said, okay, great. So I came home that night and I'm like, I'm not even going to wait for him to go get it. I go down there and lo and behold, the fucking box is inside the fucking door on the bottom of the stairs. I was like, hallelujah. It took me a week and a half to do this. A week and a half. And what a fucking, like, I did some detective work in here. I got on a first name basis with the FedEx guy. I mean, now here's the best part. This is the icing on the fucking cake. I call Adidas the day before he tells me that somebody called him because I asked him what to do. He's like, at this point, I think you should report it stolen. So you should call Adidas and have them, sort of put in the claim. So I call Adidas up. Customer support for them couldn't be any fucking better. They were like, the guy goes, okay, what's going on? I said, well, I think a package was stolen. It was misdelivered. And I've been trying to work with FedEx to get it back, but they advised me to put in the claim because they do not know if they're ever going to be able to recover the package. And he said, okay, that's fine. Let me go talk with my supervisor to see if the amount of money that you spend is qualified for a good faith payment. Like basically like, we'll just give it to you.
Yeah.
He gets off the phone for like 5 minutes, comes back. He's like, good news. Supervisor said this amount of money is perfectly fine for a good faith payment. I'm going to credit it back to your PayPal. It's going to show up instantly. I said, oh, damn. All right, dude. Thanks. So then get the PayPal payment. And the next day they call and say, we found it. I had already transferred the money out of my PayPal into my bank account. Beautiful. We got it. We got it, baby.
Oh, Adidas would never know anyways.
No, they would have no idea unless FedEx called them and said, we found the package, in which case they're like, well, we already put the money into his account, so there's nothing.
There's
nothing you can do.
Loss.
Yeah, that's just a loss. So, you know,
It's a win
you
for
win some,
Brent,
you
though.
lose some. Yeah, yeah. Look, I got $120 back in my PayPal account, and then that $120 went to towards buying that stupid fucking air conditioner, and then I returned that. So, you know, it's been a good week for me. So that's when I went on to Amazon figuratively with this money. Although you can't really say it's directly with this money, but it was pretty much directly with this money. Went back on Amazon and bought myself a cheap pair of headphones and an interface. Oh. I bought that cheap ass Behringer interface. I just bought the one channel so I could use my condenser mic in it. So I don't have to use the fucking Snowball anymore.
You have a condenser mic?
Yeah, I have the Audio Technica, or the MXL one. Do you remember when I bought a condenser mic in like something a while back, and the mixer was really bad?
Yeah, I think I remember that.
So I bought the Behringer Euphoria mixer. It's just the 2-instrument mix. It was for $30.
Yeah.
And all I need it for is just to have, because I have the pop filter and the arm and everything else. I just needed something that could power the condenser mic, plus it also, the other thing was that the other week I fucking knocked over my fucking tower. I don't know if I didn't mention it on here, but I had my headphones plugged, like my long cord headphones, like the studio ones, that my AKG studio headphones. They're like open back, like monitor headphones. I had those plugged in to my tower, and it got wrapped around my leg on my chair, and I moved my chair back, and the tower went ass over fucking hole in the ground, and it popped my graphics card out of the fucking slot. I thought I was going to explode. I tore the fucking case open. I reseated my graphics card.
No, baby. Stay with me.
No. Please. I reseated my graphics card, made sure everything else was okay. Pulled the headphone out of the jack. The fucking cord on my headphone bent fucking crescent shape in the jack. I was like, oh my God. I put it back up, turned it back on. I plugged in my headphones. Now everything's coming only out of the left ear.
Mm.
It's like, fuck, I destroyed the headphone jack on my fucking case. So I was like, what I need now, because I don't have any way of doing this, is I need an interface that's on my desktop that I can plug my headphones into now.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking into headphone amps, and I was looking into like a bunch of things like that, like trying to get something that's like an external sound card. But then I just decided, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well get, for the same price, an interface that has a headphone jack on the front of it, and the Behringer one works perfectly.
Yeah.
So it's basically all the Behringer is just a sound card, a headphone jack, and an instrument in for whatever I want to use it for. It's perfect for my needs, fucking $30. And then their headphones that go with it were $20. They're actually the best rated cheap headphones out there. Just for basic, like for this, actually, because that's,
yeah.
I didn't want to use the studio headphones. They're nice because they're open back, but they're huge, and they just they sound good. They're just flat. Like, they just don't have like the, I don't know. I guess I was just looking for a little bit more isolation. So I got studio headphones that were closed back. So it should be a little bit better. And then along with that, just, I needed some guitar strings and a bunch of other shit. So fucking bought all that stuff. Gonna string up everything. I refinished my Telecaster a little bit. Did a little bit of maintenance work on it. Got out the quadruple steel wool and refinished my frets, and then did some fingerboard reconditioning. So that'll be playable, and then now I won't have corroded strings on every one of my guitars now. So that'll be nice.
You just gotta play them.
I play them. I play them more than I used to. I am playing more guitar now, not for any purpose, just playing. I'm playing more guitar now that I got that Telecaster back out of the case than when I had the Thunder Horse out of the case. I put the Thunder Horse back in the case, took the Telecaster out, and now it started playing guitar way more. I actually have to bring that to a music shop to get a new nut put in the top of the neck because it's not great shape.
It's a busted nut.
Yeah, buddy. I got string vibration in like 2 of the strings. It's really bad. So gotta get a new one carved out. Get like a Graph Tech nut or something. But anyway, as you can see, I'm tired from this week. It's been a fucking crazy. It's been a crazy little game of poker. So, what's new with you, friend?
Nothing.
I get done doing my fucking 5-minute Jay Leno monologue about my life. That's what this is really about.
Minutes?
It was not 25 minutes. That was 45 minutes.
It was 55 minutes.
Exactly. That's what this is, Dylan, really.
Oh yeah, I know.
This is nothing if not a sounding board for my insecurities, my difficulties. It's all about that.
And I just listen to you. That's my
look, you're the therapist here. You just listen to it.
Yeah.
You weigh in on the flagship segment. That's for one thing. You know? That's at least got that.
That's my segment.
That's your segment. I'm not disagreeing with you on it. I just fucking chime in when I have something stupid to say. Clearly. So playing a good game.
I'm gonna make sure that's super, just like a super cut, right to that stupid face.
So, did you see the cuts on what that I did on the intro to E3?
Yeah, I watched a little bit. Yeah, just the intro, right? That's the only thing you did.
I didn't go in to do anything.
I figure you didn't.
Else throughout it. I mean, sometimes I have the idea in my head that like if we are going to do something like that we should mark out segments, and I would actually take what we recorded down to like, you know, like a 20-minute, like 25 minutes to half an hour. But I just took that first part and just cut a bunch of pieces out.
Yeah.
And sort of did a bunch of zooms and shit like that. I thought it was good. It was that kind of shit to me is actually pretty fun to do. I actually like doing like more sort of editing for comedy, or trying to edit for comedy a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I always found that kind of interesting, and I did that all in Premiere, which is harder to do because their keyframe system is similar to what you would find in After Effects, but it's kind of a secondary thought, so it's not very advanced.
Yeah, if I were to do that, I would just cut that piece out, put it in After Effects, make a new camera, and just fucking zoom in and out.
I'm used to doing it in
Would you just
Premiere,
do it like transform stuff?
Yeah, I did. It was there was some transform, and then I did eyeball, like I did tracking by eye on like when you slid the cup across the table.
Mm-hmm.
I did tracking based on keyframes every 10 frames to keep the mug in the center of the frame so that it moved, the camera moved with it. Anyway,
some inside baseball.
About those good games you played lately, Dylan. Jesus.
I bought the little Nintendo guy.
Mm-hmm.
Kicked that on a couple times. I forgot.
I looked at it.
It's. I'm looking at it.
I'm currently viewing it.
Donkey Kong. Play a little Donkey
Mm-hmm.
Kong.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love Donkey Kong. Gradius.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. I like
It's
that
one
game.
of those ones where I kicked on. I'm like, man, I used to play this all the time.
Yeah,
on
I like
a
that game a
Nintendo.
lot. Yeah.
It was like one that, because whenever I go to my grandfather's house, he had a Nintendo in the basement.
Yeah.
And we had like stacks of games, and that was one that me and Andrew used to play all the time. Was Gradius.
That's one of those things. I had a Nintendo, but it's my dad's, and the kind of relationship that I had with Nintendo was pretty limited because we had like 4 games for it. We never had more games than that. The system that I really had a lot of games for was Sega Genesis and PS1.
See,
I don't know where
all the games came from.
That's what.
Like,
That's the weird part about it
yeah,
is I bet you a lot of people share that have that same story. I don't know where the I had a Nintendo, but I don't know where the fuck any of the games came from.
Yeah. And so I mean, we would go over his house like every Sunday. He'd do like the Sunday dinner, with, like the whole family come over, and the classic.
That warms my heart, man. Italian family
Italian
coming over for fucking Sunday dinner and playing some goddamn Gradius.
But yeah, that's like awesome. Stacks you always remember the gold like Zelda cartridge because it was the gold cartridge.
Hell
or
yeah.
like the black Tengen cartridges of like Gauntlet was a black Tengen. I think
I think
there was a version of Pac-Man that was a Tengen. And then another gold one was like some like 4-pack of like one that was like a little cherub or something. I think it was called like Little Cherub. There's like 4 different games on this one gold cartridge.
Yeah.
It's just like certain things you remember like that. Just because they're so shiny.
The mine's a little bit further up. Because Nintendo for me only had, well, here's the best part. Before you even get to the games. Our Nintendo that we had a spring issue that that caused the contacts not to come down when you press the cartridge in the case. We had to put a giant jar of pennies on top of it so that the game stayed contacted with the base when you click the cartridge in. So you'd put the cartridge in and then you'd put a big fucking thing of pennies on top of it. That'd be the only way that the game worked.
There was we always had to do like the blowing on and everything. I don't know who told us to do that, but
that's one of those. I don't understand why it's so weird.
Like the clicking the reset like 100 times until the game starts up, and then also we used to push it down, push the drive down, and then stick another like a game or something, like I think another game like in the top of it, so it would push it down, like you'd leave the top open.
Well, we had to do it, so we had to tear the front off of it so that it would work. So we teared the hinge off.
We didn't tear the hinge off. We just left the hinge open and like jammed another game in there, so it jammed it down.
Well, the Pickard clan isn't particularly the smartest group of people. We probably could have shoved another game in it and maybe could have gotten the same result that you did.
You only had 4 games, so you don't want to break any of them.
Right, I know. Yeah, I'm not going to be over here
just
trying
jam the garbage ones in there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and speaking of garbage, like in the PS1 era was actually where I got exposure to a lot more retro games because this was the time where they were starting to do the classics. It was so weird to be on a PS1 and be able to get classic. I mean, now it's not so collection.
Weird. I'm pretty sure I got a copy of that under my bed.
I had Activision Classics.
Did I have Activision? I think I just had Namco.
Yeah, I had Activision Classics, which had like the original Q*bert. No, it wasn't. I had regular Q*bert. I had what the fuck was it? I had 3D Q*bert, but Activision Classics had like Pitfall.
Yeah.
I want to say it had Pitfall. It had
that's an Activision
one,
game,
like where you would rope like the whatever the fuck that one was. It had Barnstormers, which was like a helicopter game type thing, and it had a couple other ones that I remember. I think it had about 15 or 20 on there.
You know what? I gotta dig out the collection that I have on me because
the Namco one.
I'm almost thinking it's not Namco. I think it might be Midway because I had the
I'm
Namco
gonna bet
for
you it's Midway because
I had
remember
Namco
that
for
one.
N64.
I
know for
Namco
a fact.
Museum.
Yeah,
wasn't
Namco Museum for N64. It had the purple label with the red. I know that for sure. And now it's making me second guess which one I had for PlayStation. I'll have to dig it up later, but yeah, they're doing a Namco's Museum for Switch. It's coming out pretty soon, I think. Yeah,
cool.
Pick it up. It's all the same games: Galaga, Galaxian, Pac-Man. But
it's good shit though.
Yeah,
that's one of
I love me a game of Galaga.
Really, honestly, like it's so funny because sometimes It feels like it's the only way you can fucking relate to your parents is to bring over this modern console where you pop off the little Joy-Cons and be like, "Look, Mom,
we're gonna play Galaga.
We're gonna play Galaga right now, or you're gonna play Pac-Man and I'm gonna laugh at you." That's how this happens. It's the same thing as when you
Galaga's one of the only like old cabinets I see in an arcade, and I get excited. I'm like, fuck yeah, they got a Galaga machine in here. Mm-hmm. Like Pac-Man, you see Pac-Man all the time, but when they got a Galaga, you're like, oh yeah.
I mean, Galaga or like legit Space Invaders is very hard to come by.
Oh yeah, with the rolling ball.
Yeah.
Oh no,
that's very hard. You don't see that often. I thought it did have a rolling ball, didn't it? Or maybe it was I don't know.
That's Centipede. Centipede's the ball.
Oh, I guess
Space Invaders is a knob. Asteroids is 4 buttons. I think that's what it is.
Oh yeah, Space Invaders is a knob because it's a
rotary knob.
Sorry, yeah, it's a rotary thing.
Yeah, the rotary knob on front. Centipede's the ball.
Yeah,
that you roll back and forth.
I got it.
And then Asteroid is like the buttons to turn and to boot, like boost and shoot.
Yeah, you don't see that often. You know what?
The thing they did with Galaga though is like to have that Pac-Man Galaga machine, so like you could pick if you want to play Galaga or Pac-Man on it. So it pops up a lot more often if you're ever at a place that actually has arcade machines.
Which is going to be my wedding.
You know where I'll be. They got a Galaga machine in that bitch.
Oh no. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, of course.
Sure. Separate machines or same?
Separate machines.
Oh. I mean, why do you even have Pac-Man? Just get Miss Pac-Man. Your face just froze.
Froze, bitch.
Oh, there we go.
Both of our faces are frozen. Well, yeah, right. Hunter, Harley Davidson side-by-side motorcycle game, air hockey, foosball, 3 ski balls,
3 ski balls,
3 ski balls, 3 ski balls.
They got a ticket
Come on
counter
in
or
and
what?
play a 3 ski ball.
Yeah, tickets there? Like,
no.
What's the point of playing skee ball if you ain't getting tickets?
Just for points, it's just
eat my ass.
See, now what they really should do is if you get to a certain amount of points, you get a free beer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Or if you get it in the 1,000 knob, you get free beer.
I think I want to say one of them is a fighting game. I don't think it's a Mortal Kombat. It could be like Marvel versus Cat. I don't know. It's one of those. And then Simpsons Arcade.
Nice.
Is in there. I like
Simpsons
that one
or
a lot.
Ninja Turtles?
Simpsons.
No. I'm asking you.
Oh, you're saying which one do you like better? The issue is that Simpsons is more sentimental to me because that was the one that was in Pepe's Pizza when they had an arcade in there years ago.
They still have a little one in there.
Controls in Ninja Turtles was way better. It was more fun to play physically. It was quicker. Like you get a quicker punch out. Like it was almost more like playing like a Double Dragon type. It was more it was faster. Simpsons seems just like more like it's a little slow. And it seems like your isometric movement is a little like wonky. It's a little off. Ninja Turtles, it felt like you actually like really is like a beat 'em up that you could play and it felt good and what you know.
Yeah,
there's a couple of them like that. Battletoads is kind of the same way as like a good like. It was hard, but it was like way better controls. Did you see the beat 'em up that? It's on like a. I don't know if it was new releases on Switch or if it was featured or whatever the hell it was, but it was like a fighting game that was based on the old SNK pixel games.
Yeah, Pocket Rumble.
Pocket Rumble, that's what it was. Did you? I was like, it's $10. I kind of want it.
I got too many games right now. It seems
no,
like
I got too many too. I was just for $10. I was thinking
it's a 2-button. It's a 2-button fighter.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a light and heavy fighter. Fun.
Like if people came over and
you pop the Joy-Cons off, and
pop the Joy-Cons off and fucking go to town bod. Get the fucking Joy-Cons off.
The old cans.
Go play some fucking Pocket Rumble bod. That's always my delusion too. When it comes to games, I'll be on there and be like, maybe people will come over and play this with me.
I know the exact situation that'll never happen, that this game is perfect for. I'm going to buy it.
The exact situation that's never going to happen is a direct representation of what Reggie Fils-Aime does when he fucking introduces the goddamn trailers for these games and the Switch itself. When he's like, and here, we're going to show you this game on the Switch. And then it's like, fucking people playing at a goddamn bar, fucking Switch with 18,000 fucking Joy-Cons. Who's got that many? No two people have a Switch at the same fucking time out in the world.
Yo, bring your left Joy-Con, dude. We're playing tonight.
It was different with Nintendo DS. Nintendo was really Nintendo forever will be the only company that got close to the idealism of collaborative gameplay in the world, not just at your house. That they were the only company to ever do it.
PSP is
but nobody's
like
getting
in Japan.
I'll put it to you.
That's all they play in fucking Japan. You set up the ad hoc network on the old train and get a whole group of people playing Monster Hunter on your train.
But what I'm telling you is that in VVS high school, there was one system and one game that reigned supreme for at least 2 years. And that was Mario Kart DS with ad hoc wireless across 8 systems.
You only needed one cart, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you when I say this, there has never in the history of gaming been a more organic and cooperative gameplay experience amongst friends in a just an environment. Like,
well, everyone can get on Fortnite on their cell phones now.
Absolutely. That's but at the same time though, the beauty of what we were doing was that, like, obviously, like, you, me, and everybody else getting on and playing Fortnite is so much fun. Like, it's become more fun than the sum of its parts, really. It just doesn't get any more accessible from, like, a PC gaming perspective for everybody to just fuck around in there. Like, it's a fucking riot every time. But you're not face to face. And there is something to be said, and this is really probably coming from
okay, so that's what you mean, like face. I mean, well, even like, what I'm saying is, like, all those kids now got their cell phones at lunch and they can play.
Absolutely, I'm not disputing that at all. But nobody's sitting in the same room with one another with their cell phones playing Fortnite.
It could be.
There's a magic.
In the lunchroom.
Yeah, but there's like a magic to when you know every person at your table, right? When you're sitting with everybody.
And you fill the race.
And you fill the race up and you know who everybody is and who everybody picked, right? So you're racing with the full maximum roster of players on one track. And you can watch everyone do what they're doing and pinpoint. It's almost like as if in that instance, you become your character. Because normally, like, if you play an online match of Mario Kart, God damn it, Emily's mowing the lawn. If you play an online match of Mario Kart on the Switch, and you have, like, maybe even if you get a couple people to do it with you, you're never going to get a full fill. Like, you're never going to be on there and be like, private track, pop fucking 10 people on it.
Well, you could.
You could. But in theory, the idea was that in a social setting where you had all of these people, nobody needed any overhead. One person had the cart, and everybody else gets on. And it is fucking amazing. Like, I just can't think of another. Like, the closest it comes is Jackbox. because you don't need that for that either.
Well, yeah, you only need the game, and everyone just goes on their phone on the line. I see what you mean by that point, but at the same time, if you remember the Halo 2 LAN parties at John and Rich's house, when we had 16 people filling a match, and you had upstairs versus downstairs.
Absolutely. That's the kind of magic we're talking about, no matter what, really.
Yeah.
It took so much
But that
work.
wasn't out in the wild either, like you're saying.
No,
like,
no
the
way.
DS is
but it does. I don't even think that matters. I think what I'm really talking about is whether it is at like. I'll put it this way. I think there is a time, and I think it might be coming, or it's someone sort of thinking about it. I don't know if it's very prominent. Couch co-op and LAN parties, I feel like they're gonna come back, and they're gonna come back in a different way, it's gonna be more of like a commodity based way.
Wow, that's already back.
Yeah, but I don't think it doesn't feel like it did.
It never will. Your friend doesn't come over to your house every day.
Yeah. I mean, certainly the circumstances by which the LAN party of yore that we're referring to is circumstantial based on the fact that you had all the time in the world to be able to do stuff like this. That's why I'm saying that I think the idea of it is going to take a different form. And I know that online gaming exists in that realm now to fill that void in where you can just jump on and do what you got to do. But I feel like there's got to be something else. There has to be something a place where you can go,
where everyone knows your name.
Your name.
Cheers, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen,
we'll go to Cheers. We'll play Super Mario Party when it comes out on Switch. We'll put our stupid consoles together and make a map, whatever the fuck they were doing. We'll have a grand old time. Mm-hmm. I'll steal your stars. You'll steal my stars. I'll punch you in the face. We'll get a pitcher of Bud Light.
I can't even. I can only get so erect. You need to stop, because my nostalgia boner is going to go through my roof. It's seriously. I feel like we're missing that. I don't even think it's Emily mowing the goddamn lawn. I think it's some other dude mowing my fucking lawn. Damn it.
Hot.
Haha, you're gonna have to fucking move all my furniture, you son of a bitch. I got lawn furniture out there for days. There is something to be said about the nights over at John Bogard's, lunchtime with Mario Kart DS, playing Overcooked, playing Jackbox Party Pack, and playing online Fortnite over Discord. Those are all those are all very mutually shared sort of playing experiences that I don't think have a replacement. I don't think there's anything that replaces that. It is fucking great every time. Like, single one-player experiences, like crafted storylines and things like that, are awesome, and they can be very engaging and very moving and whatever. But there's something to be said about, and I mean, it goes right back to playing Uno with my family, where everybody's yelling at each other, screaming.
Oh yeah,
in fact, at the top of your lungs, and somebody just reversed. That's all they did. Somebody reversed and put somebody in a compromising situation with the hand that they had, and somebody screams, "God fucking damn it!"
It's just It's just a vehicle for fun. While hanging out with other people.
It really is. And it's
that's
weird
all you need.
That's what it is. It's you. Like, that was the reason why when we used to play very complex board games that I felt like we were diminishing that experience. I always told you, which is true, it's not that it's false. It's just that this is what the main reason was. It wasn't. What I always conjectured was the main reason why I didn't enjoy playing complex board games was because I was too dumb to play them. I don't have the kind of brain that can process the kind of rules and
come up with a strategy quick enough.
Yeah. the right. That's the main problem that we're talking about, is when you had gotten into an era of where you wanted to play very complex board games, card games. The understanding with that is that in this sort of idea with a more complex game, you'll get more out of it, which is true. When you spend time building a strategy and you spend time sort of on the board doing things, sort of fucking really investing a lot of your thought process into how this is all going to go, you then, if you do win or you do end up like, you know, doing something critical during the gameplay process, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, because you just put a shitload of work into what you just did. But for me, I always felt that since I was very bad at them, I couldn't derive any enjoyment out of this, because the kind of style that I enjoyed when it came to playing games was everybody needs to be able to get in on this as quickly as possible, and it needs to happen in a way where you can play it drunk or sober. It's not going to make a difference. In fact, it'll get better.
Well, I mean, that was what Flux ended up being like.
I mean, Flux, if I go back on it now, I'm sure I'd be absolutely fine with playing it. Flux, in many ways, is like the card version of Asshole. It's basically where you set yourself up for failure almost every time because you have too many rules to remember, and that's what makes it fun. It was what makes it funny. I think when games become unplayable is when it's funny. Like, everybody ends up laughing at each other because now you've leveled the playing field. You've said, well, you could have started this game by trying to win it with some sort of like strategy. You get into Flux and you be like, here's how I'm going to win it. But then somebody throws a fucking wrench in the gears so quickly that now everybody's pissing their pants laughing because they don't know, they can't do it. Somebody's like stalled. They can't do anything. They can't lay a card down. There's something happening that's like stalled the gameplay. And now we're just going around pissing our pants laughing because we're like, oh fuck, Dylan's gonna win.
I was literally a turn away from winning, and
right. That's good. I think Flux is where for me it probably stops, because then for anything else, oftentimes I don't want to take it seriously because I know that most of the gameplay experiences we have devolve into something like that. They devolve into a fucking free-for-all. You get a few more beers into you, and then suddenly you're the only one that's still taking it seriously and like ripping ass. Like you're fucking destroying because you still, again, you can retain your critical thinking and your strategy because you have the type of brain that can sort of have that. I don't. It'll get to a point where it's like if it's either I'm drinking or whatever, it'll get to the point where I just cannot continue trying to develop a strategy or win the game or do whatever, and it becomes just riding it out. Nobody's going to sit down and play Settlers of fucking Catan with it, like, let's turn this into a drinking. I mean, board games are enjoyable when you're sober. They're enjoyable when you're drunk.
That one's more of an easier one, though. If you, like, actually got, like, the rules super down. It's basically just like trading and resource gathering. It's like building houses in Monopoly. Like,
I was just going to say, like, I think Monopoly is probably a great example of a game that if nobody ever played it before, if nobody had played it before the point where they started playing it, they'd be like, this game is too fucking hard. It's too much to keep track of. I don't understand like how this all works. But since we play it so much, I say me, like as a fucking populace, it's been like fucking like 100 fucking years of Monopoly or more.
Then everyone knows how to buy something. The main loop of that game is buying things, and that's what you do every day is buy something. So. Yep.
Everybody knows how money works. Everybody knows how a standard board game works because there were games before that. chutes and ladders and shit where, you know, you advance.
Everybody
knows how fucking numbers work. Everybody knows how fucking money works. Adding, subtracting. But then once you start getting into the realm of sort of games that involve a fantasy element with like and here's where we head. Obviously, where we go here is the two most easily the two hardest fucking games ever to me in my head are
that we played.
Yes. Well, that everybody plays or that we play or whatever is Magic and Dungeons and Dragons. And for two completely different reasons. Magic, to me in my head, there's too many options. What you've created is an extremely complex universe. World building, resource management, understanding landscapes, terrain, and how that impacts
turn order.
Turn
down to the fucking turn order.
What you're essentially doing is you're doing an RPG on paper. You're trying to understand like turn-based strategy games with cards. And the cards aren't part of a single set that anybody can play. You haven't bought one Flux deck that has one set of rules and one category of cards and actions. You've bought into a universe that's been going for 50 years that has cards whose functions vastly differ across multiple landscapes, platforms, all of these different, all of the rules, all of these things that can.
That's why I'm a fan of the like deck building games, because it's basically takes Magic and condenses it to a single set. You're building, you basically build a Magic deck, kinda, but like the cards have the same like sometimes depending on what game it is, most of the time they have like the same properties, like this is a creature, this is an effect, you know what I mean?
Sure. And like, that's where you can apply like a universal set of skills to these type of things, right?
And then it branches out to Magic where you have all those options. This takes all those options and shrinks it down to a certain number of options that you play this. This is how you play, but you're trying to build a better deck than someone else, but they also have the same options that you have. So something like Dominion, like you get like your deck like at the beginning consists of money that you use to buy the cards, like to make your deck, and then when you pull those cards, you can play those cards and use their effects, and then you also have the money still in your deck to buy more cards. So you're basically trying to outbuy your opponent, but they have the same access that you do.
Right. Like we played the Resident Evil card game, and that was reasonably fun because the idea behind that was that they're using a thing that you're familiar with. What you're familiar with is a video game. They've tried to turn a video game into a card game. So what do you have in a video game? Well, in this type, you have weapons, you have monsters, you have items, and you have actions. So it's like, okay, what can I do in this game? Well, you can pick up a weapon. You can use that in an action, and if you have negative recourse because of your action, you can use an item to either help you or heal you or whatever it is. You understand like the core components, and then there's sort of bonus items in there that sort of relate to the game that are a little bit more special. That makes sense to me. I think just the idea that there's so much openness to Magic and there's so much openness to Dungeons and Dragons is a very daunting thing.
It all boils down to the same things, though. You have a hard time seeing the underworkings of like
very true.
Like the actual mechanics.
You
look at it as a much higher level, just the way you explain the Resident Evil game. Like you're looking at it as the highest level of of like, or the I guess the lowest level of what
The
like what
lowest
you
common
see, like what
denominator.
you see is what it is. When in reality, if you like look at something like Magic, the same things.
essentially the same
It's
idea.
essentially the same things. They just use different names for it, and because you're not familiar with the Magic world, you can't, like, the connection doesn't get made in your brain that like this item is basically a spell, or like this item is an artifact, or like whatever. No, this action is a spell in
Right,
Magic,
right, right.
but everything in like both of them, it's just like a once per turn thing that you can do.
The way that it's best to put it in terms of how I view it is using times where Andrew has tried to teach me how to play it when we were playing. You guys have so much Magic cards between you that you could just give me a deck that's a very good deck. Like, here's a deck that you can use that has things that you should be familiar with in it. Ideas that wouldn't be too bad for you to be able to do. It's like a basic way of doing it. So I get the deck in my hands and then I start to, sort of learn it a little bit as I go. But then when Andrew sort of will play the round where it's like 100% visibility, and it's like, here's what you're going to do. And here's the typical way of how it goes. I get flustered because I want something to just happen.
Well, also that's the whole reason you don't like the complicated board games, is because every deck has a strategy.
Right.
When you get a Magic deck, it's built on a strategy of doing this so that
Like,
you
here's
could
what
do
you
this later, so that you
is
could
like
do
a
this.
resource heavy deck, or this is like an attack heavy deck. This is something that counteracts this type of deck.
This is like a blitz deck. What you're gonna do is you're gonna every turn you're gonna play an attack. Like, this is a mill deck, so what you're gonna do is make your opponent discard all his cards so that you win by.
You're exploiting some sort of vulnerability. You're understanding that the type of deck that you're working
This deck
against is the
has
type of
this
deck
win
that,
condition, and it needs these components for that win condition. So you're going to take this strategy so that you win, basically.
it's a lot.
Yeah,
It really is.
but it's down to strategy, which you're not a fan of.
Here's the other thing that I said before that was that the idea is that once you do find yourself very deep in that world, you do find yourself fully understanding the mechanics of the game across multiple decks and styles and everything else, is when it becomes more rewarding than something that can be picked up and played by anybody. Because then now what you've done is you've entered yourself into a world where your understanding and your ability creates a more fulfilling win. It creates a more fulfilling experience when you're like, I thought about this for a long time.
I use skill to win this. I didn't roll some dice and just happen to win.
Right. The appeal of it to me, the concepts behind it are extremely appealing. It really is. I think for a lot of people that if they got into it a little bit, they would understand how appealing it is. Because you get to sort of create your own identity. You get to create an identity through the gameplay mechanics that describe you, the way that you want to play it. There's infinite options. There's infinite ways that you can create your deck. And again, it can describe you. It doesn't have to be like a thing where it's just, you're just a Joe Schmo in a confined deck building game that has a limited number of options. You can go out there to a tournament and never see a duplicate card. You can go out to a tournament and never see a kind of deck or a kind of strategy that you've never seen before. Somebody that's focused on like one single component or one single style of gameplay.
And they decided they were going to take this card and build a deck around it. Like that, people like to do that.
There's a lot of people that do that. They have like a very valuable card or a card that's
not
got
even
like an
just
incredible...
like this card's got like a stupid thing. Let's see if we can make something do it like around it.
Absolutely. It's cool. I mean, look, it's not like I used to fucking look. This is the guy that's used to fucking play Yu-Gi-Oh. I used to be out there playing Yu-Gi-Oh, dude. I had all that shit. Get out the fucking blue eyes white dragon and the fucking dark magician and the goddamn female dark magician and fucking Lugia, which nobody ever had.
The blue eyes Toon Dragon.
Blue eyes Toon Dragon. The fucking holographics. And shit, I played fucking Pokemon too. That was easy as fuck to play though, because that was all based on hit points, things that you understood. It was all based on attack, really. It wasn't attacks and items. That's basically what you did there. It was like, oh, hit points. I know how to do math. Healing, adds, attack, subtract. That's basically what you're talking about. We didn't even get into the good games that we played lately, Dylan. We just got down a fucking rabbit hole of nostalgia.
It was your rat. Well, because I mentioned the Little Nest Classic, which I've been playing. Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I've been playing that.
You've been playing that too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even know you bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. How far did you get? Or like,
not very far. Not because I'm juggling like 3 different games.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm playing Bulletstorm full clip at the same time as I'm playing fucking Wolfenstein.
Ooh.
And
I mean, you probably should just like stick to one and just finish it, because Bulletstorm's like 8 hours.
Bulletstorm is 12. So fast. Yeah.
So like, you could literally just like stick to one, finish it, then like hop right to.
I could blaze out Bulletstorm. I know I could do that. I mean, I beat it before. I could fucking blow that out in like a really short period of time. The only problem is that playing it on PC is problematic because Wolfenstein is very easy to play on mouse and keyboard. Like, it's super easy because it's like playing Quake.
Yeah.
It's super quick and there's only like 2 moves. Shoot, fucking crouch. There you go.
The classics. Jump.
With Bulletstorm, when I played it the first time, I played it with controller input through a PC, and that was okay. And I learned how to play it pretty easily through that because the leash, like I got so good at it that I could do leash grab combos, kick them in the fucking balls, and then like do like a na in the air, like a headshot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was so good at doing these like chained, like leash kick, fucking all of this shit.
A lot of that game is
a lot of that.
Like
is environmental,
slide kick into like a leash. Yeah.
I'm really bad at it on a keyboard, like because I've tried to program. I got like a profile for it for my mouse, and the buttons on the side, they're just not doing it.
They're too close together on yours.
Yeah, they are very close together. I just can't get the visceral, like, fuck you, like, sort of response that I could on a controller. So I'm thinking probably I'm going to go and get myself just like the Xbox wireless or like a 360 controller, just one of the old ones that work really good.
Yeah, I mean,
I got it for like $28.
Do you have a Bluetooth one?
No.
Do you have a Bluetooth in your computer?
Mm-mm. That's the only thing that didn't come on my motherboard.
The newest Xbox controller is Bluetooth capable, so you could just buy that and then buy like a little Bluetooth dongle.
Yeah, that's for like $10. True. Yeah,
that just plugs into your USB.
I mean, I don't even mind that. I don't even really care if it's wireless because I would be fine with plugging in a controller anyway.
Wireless yeah, I guess.
They still sell 360 inbox controllers, wireless and wired, on eBay for like $28. And the 360 controller is fucking great. I mean, it's still one of the most like reliable PC compatible controllers that you can buy. And it works for everything.
Well, because everything is like
everything is all mapped to it. Yeah. Like I was considering, I was like, maybe I'll just plug in my PlayStation controller and try to fucking make that work.
You could finagle it.
You can. It works. There's the one little application you can download that maps everything out, but it's just, it's sort of just an overlay that doesn't make sense. The games don't know how to recognize it. You kind of just have to feel it out, which would be fine. Again, it's really only just mapping out the kick and leash controls and charge fire. That's really the only 3 things that you got to kind of worry about. It's a very acrobatic shooting game. But I still love it, and it looks great. Holy fuck. For an old game, it looks so good scaled up, man. And it
Well,
It
they did a
doesn't.
little remaster to it, didn't they? Isn't the
Oh yes,
it's a little bit.
It's a texture remap. Like
Yeah.
it's very clearly because it's kind of like the God of War thing. You get the videos that are like, oh God, this is horrific.
Yeah, just because what they were encoded in, like they couldn't really do anything about it, especially if they didn't have like the original stuff. But all the other stuff, it's just
it looks good. It really does. It's stunning. You know, the only problem is that in that game, not so much Wolfenstein, I'm getting a serious amount of tearing.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little disorienting. It's just because my monitor isn't anything. It's less noticeable in Wolfenstein because it's newer, but with Bulletstorm, there's a lot of screen tearing.
What's
like
your
shit.
FPS set at?
It's always 60 for. I think it's 60 at 2K.
Maybe can you unlock it? Do you know?
I don't know. I'll have to check.
Maybe try playing it unlocked. It might look better. Because I had a lot of screen tearing problems with Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Oh,
which is like really weird. And I looked it up, and they're like, "Yeah, just unlock the frame rate," and that pretty much fixed it.
I mean, the other thing though that I got to consider too is that the monitor that I have is a Chinese 2K monitor that's like 60 hertz refresh rate.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a 144 hertz refresh rate, and I was getting screen tearing in the game, so it could just be literally just something as like stupid as like it's the game's problem, not yours.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check it out. There's also like conflicting sensitivity and mapping issues on that game quite a bit for mouse and keyboard. Like it's like
that's fun.
Smoothing is weird, and then like you change your sensitivity, and then you change your DPI, and now you're all fucked up. And I'm just like, damn. Sometimes it's hard, man. Sometimes you really just do want to play on a controller on certain first-person shooters. I think this is probably one of them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is
like the PC version
controller.
Like that, I know BioShock was too, because BioShock was out on Xbox 360 first.
Yep. It's Wolfenstein feels fucking great on a keyboard.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so does Doom. I mean, both of them are designed with the speed.
They're designed for speed
and precision in mind.
Yeah.
And it's so good. It's like I'm sitting there playing Wolfenstein wondering, how the fuck did I do this on a console? Like some parts where I was just like the fucking like certain parts where you're walking into a room with like 20 enemies. How did I fucking pull that? How did I fucking work it on a goddamn controller? With a mouse, I'm just like it's like so easy. That's still that game, man. It's really fucking good. I'll probably just end up rolling with that for a little while, and then I really do like Bulletstorm. I really just would like to just complete it and then maybe do the Duke campaign.
It's the same thing. You should have just played it as Duke Nukem.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, it's just playing as him? I thought it had extra story elements in it.
I don't think it does. I'm pretty sure it's just like a voiceover of like
I'll have to see.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's just like everyone talks to you like you're the main character, and he's just like, "What are you talking about? Shake it, baby."
Shake it, baby.
That's why I wanted to. I don't know. I'm still thinking about getting it. I just want to fucking play it. Play it through and just listen to that stupid ass voiceover.
The Duke is good, and then they have the Echoes thing too, which is like a whole other. I think it's like an added-on DLC that they put onto it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like Time Attack or something. But I was playing that, and I've been playing. What else have I been playing? I've been playing
Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I've been playing Hollow Knight. I've been playing.
So I'm like 12 hours into Hollow Knight, and I haven't even fought any of like the main bosses yet.
Oh my god, that game is hard.
It's huge too. It's a lot bigger than you think.
Yeah,
because I have a lot of spaces unlocked, and it is huge.
When you're playing like SteamWorld Dig, you're like unlocking areas. You're getting further and further. You're getting further and further. And with this, it almost seems like it's futile because if you're bad, you don't have a lot of ways of not being bad. Like in Castlevania, you could go through and go to the library and buy like a better weapon, and then you'd start killing people with less blows. And while you can do that in Hollow Knight, it takes a fucking long ass time.
Yeah. Well, once you get good with the basic stuff, and then
Right.
you start building up. You get like Have you gotten any charms yet?
One. Wait, what's the first like? No, maybe I haven't. Fuck.
So that
I haven't played, Dylan. I haven't played no 12 hours of it. I played like 4 hours of it.
4 hours still.
3 or 4 hours, something like that. But I'm bad. That's the thing, is that I'll get down in there and I'll have that Dead Cells mentality where I'll just be like, I can just keep going. I can just keep going. I can figure this out. And then I die and lose fucking 200 goddamn shards. Or whatever the fuck they're called.
How do you like the map system?
I feel like for me it leaves a lot to be desired, just because I dislike the idea of I like the idea of having the markers available to you. I don't necessarily like the idea of having to buy them. I mean, it certainly adds a layer of complexity to the game that you've seen in other games. There are other games that use the marker mechanic where you have to actually buy the markers to put on the map. There's a few of them like that. But for me, it's just like, if this were really like a platformer that I'd really enjoy playing, I would just like to get the first map. Like, yeah, it's fine if I can get like sections of maps. That's perfectly fine. But for me, like, I would like just color-coded squares, like places where I would just like that to happen. That would be good.
What do you mean?
I would just want to know what a certain thing is on the map without having to buy a marker to put onto it.
Oh, that's no fun though.
But does it really? Does it really create a better game?
It makes sense in the game.
Yeah, they've built a universe where it's like, oh, it's the map maker, and then you get the map, and then you're walking around and you don't know what the fuck is going on. I better save this. And then you
sit down and you fill in the map, like you update the map with stuff like you found.
It does make it. It's a very like Breath of the Wild type of idea where it's like,
if you're in a big world, you get dropped in and like, oh, this is like,
this is castle map
right
number
here.
1.
Yeah,
all your fucking save points. Yeah, I know. I think there's so much to be lost in that game because if you're bad at it. For me, it's like if I'm bad at
the whole game's to be lost if you're bad at it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you're bad at it, in my case, you might be able to make it through the game a little bit easier if you did have a map that even if you had to collect it, it would still show you at least, you know, the fountains and the benches. Like if even just if I got a map that had benches on it, that would be fine. Everywhere else I could mark. That's great, but I would just want to know where the fucking benches are in my immediate area, not even necessarily like
there's little signs.
Yeah.
That should point you to the benches if you're on the right way. So
there you go. There you go.
That.
It is, and this is the horrible thing, is that it is very Souls-like because, or you could even kind of equate it to like a Cuphead, because it is a rhythmic boss game. It's a pattern boss game.
Yeah,
it's just understanding. It's not like most games aren't pattern boss games. For fuck's sake, like Super Mario Odyssey is a pattern boss game, but I'm just saying in a platformer sense.
Yeah, 2D.
The bosses are the 2D platform. They're like Mega Man bosses. They're just, you have to understand every time you get to one, like what to do.
When he does this, he's gonna do like a downward attack. It's gonna create this like ground pound type thing. You're gonna have to jump. You know,
but like a medium boss, it seems as though I'm not prepared every single time to do what I need to do, and I'll just forget the patterns every time and just be like, oh, I should know this by now. I should know what this guy does. but whatever. Uh, it's just like Celeste. I'm never gonna beat Celeste. It's not the type of game for me. They're not talking to me. That this game is not made for me.
Yeah, but at least Celeste, you could put it on assist mode and beat it. You could beat it.
Right. With Hollow Knight, they don't got no fucking assist mode. That's just like, you figure out what the fuck's going on, man. Grind until it works. Grind until you do it. And then that's it. Grind until you unlock your new little area. You hit your boss and you unlock your new area. But anyways, the games, they good. We're gonna keep playing them.
Fortnite.
We're gonna keep doing the thing. We're gonna keep maybe tonight. I might be able to engage in a rousing weekly edition.
It's Saturday night Fortnite.
Saturday night Fortnite, bitch.
The Discord
Everybody
explodes,
get on.
Everyone's screaming.
You up on Discord? I'm gonna yell at you.
Brent's whispering because Becky's sleeping.
Yep. It's the classic. You almost wish I could like rent out a space to play Fortnite on the weekends where I could scream and yell at people.
We could have a whole conversation about what they're doing in their map now.
Oh my god, the kind of shit. I mean, to close the podcast out, I will just say what Fortnite is doing in terms of world building in a multiplayer platform and on a multiplayer game.
A single map, by the way, also.
On a single map is more engaging than some single player games with a well-crafted story because of the same reason why we were talking about earlier is that you're engaging a group of users that is 11 billion fucking strong in what are essentially digital social experiments. You're showing them things. You're crafting a narrative without crafting a story is really what it is. You're not writing anything. What you're doing is you're just creating world events. You're crafting a story through only using narrative, images, symbols,
even skins.
Right. Once you start seeing skins that sort of relate to the idea of what is happening in the world, where you're like, you see the what the hell was it? The wanderer, the
visitor.
The visitor skin. Obviously everybody's like, "Oh shit, this looks completely different than everything else." They're doing these like they're trickling out these amazing.
That is the skin of he's the one that crash landed and created the dust. He was in the comet or whatever that crashed.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
He's the one that tried to escape in the rocket ship that went off.
Yeah.
And now there's a bunch of time rifts all over the map. I have to
and
show
now
you
you're
one
seeing
tonight.
the burger, and now you're seeing the anchor, and all of this stuff. There's an anchor. It showed up. They said it today.
Oh, dude, there's a tomato somewhere then. You know the tomato on top of Tomato Town?
Mm-hmm.
That's gone too. I'll show you. Like if you play tonight, I'll bring you to one of the time rifts.
Yeah. Well, I came to one. I came to one that was in front of a building when I was playing it. On Switch the other night.
Oh, you did play? You have played since then? Yeah.
I didn't see the anchor, but I had seen one of the rifts the rift didn't. It was in the lodge, the bear lodge with the magazine rack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was right out in front of that, and I was looking around. And I was like, "There's nothing over here that indicates anything. It's just one that's sitting there."
Well, yeah. But, none of them indicate anything, but they sucked a piece of the map through.
Oh, okay. So maybe when I had gotten there, that it was like a shorter distance for me to get to it or something. Maybe that was what it was.
No. So the Durr Burger there that showed up.
Yeah.
There's like that rift that you saw.
Uh-huh.
Is right where it was. In the map itself, there's one of those
the lodge.
No, in Greasy Grove.
Right. I wasn't in Greasy Grove. I was over in Wailing Woods.
Well, so if there's more than one of those things in the real world, I'm guessing that every spot there's gonna be
wherever I saw a rift is gonna suck something into it.
Yeah, and it might show up.
I mean, I would think it's probably that bear that's inside the lot, that big bear statue.
Yeah, there is a big bear in there. Was he already sucked in there? Was he already sucked through it, or
I didn't notice?
Because I think they got sucked through when it popped the first time.
Maybe it was. Maybe the bear wasn't in there and I didn't notice it. Because it's out front of the building. Like, just in front of the door, like, I look up and saw it. I was like, oh, shit. But yeah, that's what we're saying right now is proof positive of why it works and why it's cool. Because they're giving you these cliffhangers. It's an interactive experiment. It's like year zero. It was like when Trent Reznor was like, let's put out a weird augmented reality game where people have to figure out what the hell is going on.
And you know when the next story beat's going to happen because it's broken up into seasons.
Yep.
And like, you know, they're not going to do anything till next season because they can't, because the challenges are tied to the map that they have. And you can't change the map before the season's over because otherwise you screw over the people that purchased the battle pass or whatever that have these challenges tied to like what is on the map, like what you can do on the map is that they're never going to change it through the season. So you know, like, all right, well, if I'm sick of this game and all I want to do is check back in and see what changes they're making, I could pop in like at the beginning of a season and see, hey, this is gone, it's
fucking zany, man. It's really cool, and it's very engaging, and it's in a very simple way that they've made it engaging. So that's, I think, the genius of it. So, you know, we'll get on and have a little bit of we'll enjoy ourselves.
I doubt it.
All right, fine. We'll yell at each other.
We'll yell at each other.
I did pretty good the last time.
Did you? On Switch or?
No. Well, I did good on 2 rounds on Switch.
Oh, you mean last week? You mean when we played?
Yeah.
We won one.
Well, that was you guys though during that round. I was just talking about the rounds before that where like I was the last one and I actually did something. Like I had actually recognized my surroundings, understood what was happening. I threw down my fucking porta-fort, hit to the top of it. I got sniped out, but I at least felt like really good about what I did. Like you
didn't stand still and get sniped out. You tried.
Yeah,
something.
I attempted. I was swapping weapons. Like I was totally into the mode of doing it, to the point where like even fucking Ashley said, "Damn, you did pretty goddamn good on that round. Normally you suck." I was like,
You're right, I do, and I did.
I don't know. I guess my reflexes just kind of kicked in there or something, or I thought about it for a second.
Just gotta chug a gallon of coffee before you play, or get some Adderall. That's what all the kids do.
Ooh, all the kids get on the Adderall.
They're all playing. You're all playing against a bunch of added out teens. All right. Grinding their teeth.
Drinking more monsters, drinking more fucking...
Double pumping your ass back to the lobby before you can even land.
G-fueled rampage. That's what you're doing, is G-fuel rampages.
But then I'm chugging 150 beers to just slow everything down.
Everything seems like it's in like slow motion, man. Yeah, see, I'm drinking beer and nothing else. So that's my problem. That I'm not trying to counteract anything while I'm playing.
Brent, circle's closing, Brent.
Okay. I'm trying to make my way to somebody trying to heal me. Oh, I'm sweating my ass off in front of this window.
Okay.
I'm going to wrap this shit up.
Good. I got to
wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
As we all know, the fucking audio versions of this podcast are available in the description below. And remember, get on our Discord.
That's private Discord.
Get on our private Discord so you can hear the antics. Someday we'll stream it. Someday we should stream it. probably a good idea. Feel like we would be very good at it. Someday we'll get that Jacket Off fucking Twitch channel going. Someday.
It's almost there.
It's almost there. That is it for this edition of the Jacket Off podcast. I'm out.